I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I want to talk about the Nigerian the Labour Party, the Nigerian Labour Congress, and the Supreme Court judgment on Abure over the chairmanship of the Labour Party. I first visited the Labour Party Secretariat in Abuja with my friend, former governor and minister Mimiko, Dr. Mimiko, the Iroko. We met during a conference at Port Harcourt at Swiss Spirit Hotel, the Nigerian Graduate Fellowship. And Dr. Olusegun Mimiko spoke on his Abure project, which was a fascinating project. And then I spoke. And after that, we exchanged contact. He came to visit me at Ugeli. I subsequently went to speak for him during his presidential declaration at Ondo town. And I think that was the first time Peter Obi saw me while he was in the airport, and he called Mimiko to make inquiries about who that speaker was. And I had a problem when Olusegun Mimiko declared his intention to contest. I asked a simple question whether he had settled. There was one person in the Labour Party. He said they had resolved, but it was that man that brought crisis that made him to go to the Zenith Labour Party. The story you all know. I think that with the sack of Abure, the Nigerian Labour Congress has an opportunity to mobilize Nigerian workers to strengthen and re-strategize the Labour Party to take over power in this country. Sounds funny, not so? Charles de Gaulle said that, it was French president at one time, said that politics is too serious a matter to be left to the politicians. Too serious a matter to be left to the politicians. Mao Zedong said politics is war without bloodshed, while war is politics with bloodshed. Now, Plato said that one of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. The problem with Nigerian politics is that our inferiors have used all mechanisms to discourage participation in politics. Participation in politics is not contesting alone that is politics. Politics has several levels. Number one, membership of a political party you are being political. I know a denomination in this country that has branches in every street. If members of these branches become members of the wards in the Labour Party, they will be able to influence decision making in the Labour Party. If they are members of wards in APC and PDP, these millions of members, they will become the delegates. They will choose party chairpersons, and then you will now have people who have some sense of reasonableness, in quotes, deciding what happens at the grassroots in the parties. You don't want to get involved in politics. You want to open branch churches. Then you want to pray for this country to change. You are deceiving yourself. It won't change. And so we have learned from our lessons that we reap what we vote for or what we don't vote for. Because only 26.72% of the registered voters voted in the last elections. That means 73.28%, a great majority, about 3 times the number of voters, did not vote. And so we are being ruled by people who the majority did not vote for. If you tell me that they inflated the voters' registration, whatever, the things were displayed, faces were displayed. If you didn't go out to vote, you didn't register, you don't belong to a political party, you deserve what you are receiving in this country. And so, they want to discourage us from being in politics. Number 1, violence. Number 2, they make politics very expensive. Number 3, the rigging involved and how will I put it now? The involvement of the ruling parties in the independent electoral commission that is not independent in some cases, the influence of the ruling party to scuttle your votes. All these attempts, the hijacking of ballot boxes, thuggery like in Lagos and several other places, the judiciary giving contrary judgment. Imagine, the Court of Appeal in Abuja had reinstated or affirmed Abure until the Supreme Court removed him now. So all these attempts are to discourage decent people from participating in politics. And if you don't participate, the indecent people and the wicked people will determine your faith in future. So, the Labour Party presents an alternative, at least for participation. So registration to vote, you're already in politics. Participating in the party decision-making process, you are in politics. Going to vote, you are in politics. Monitoring your votes, you are in politics. Preserving your votes, you are in politics. Be there for the counting, you are in politics. Donating money, you are in politics. Like the Labour Party, the Obedience funded a lot of the campaigns that took place, and they were there. The Obedience were there to count their votes. That's why LOP 71, LOP 72. That was how that came up. And that was why Peter Obi was able to win Lagos State in the presidential election until several other things took place. So let's not be discouraged, because politics, according to David Easton, is authoritative allocation of resources. Authoritative allocation of values. Politics, according to Harold Laswell, is who gets what, when, and how much. So we can't allow people to be deciding our future without our playing our roles. If we massively participate, INEC will behave well. If You know what I learned from this Natasha's recall that was discontinued? Even though I don't trust INEC, but they wrote in capital letters there that there will be no further action. If there was no massive turnout of people of Kogi State, of people of Kogi Central, to stand by Natasha Akpoti Udwaga, the recall will have continued. Because how did they just verify signatures and arrived at that decision? Okay, mathematically, whether they were false signatures, whether they were without addresses, whether the people who were conducting the recall or writing the petition for the recall, whether they have no address, whether they are not registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, it did not matter that they didn't meet the statistical requirement. If they had met the statistical requirement, maybe INEC would have gone further to verify. And since there was no verification, people cannot be charged for forgery, people cannot be charged for any offense. If not, those individuals are supposed to be charged to court for criminality. And so, we must, in the next election, we must come out massively. The tendency was for me to be discouraged. I am not going to be discouraged. I will still vote. Now, politics involves debate. Because we can't leave politics to politicians, according to Charles de Gaulle, we must debate, we must contribute, we must vocalize our opposition, whatever is right, whatever is wrong, we must contribute. Contribute. I feel that for people like me, I feel I'm too old to participate in politics now. I don't have the strength. My granddaughter asked me this afternoon, Daddy, why do you walk slowly? I said, I'm getting old. She said, you are not old. It is true. I don't have the vigor and the energy like before. But we should be able to support young men and women who have the vigor to participate, contribute to them, contribute our quota, encourage them, speak up on social media, speak up I have a radio program that about 12 million people listen to in the Niger Delta, 3 radio programs, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, 2 big stations. It is sponsored by somebody, Salimo Wits Foundation. And so we must get ourselves in enlightenment, just enlightenment alone. I do enlightenment on this platform. I do enlightenment on my radio programs. And I try to reorientate the minds of people, my radio programs. Pastors, you need to encourage your members to belong to political parties. You need to encourage them to go out to vote. You need to sensitize them on the kind of candidates they will vote for. We cannot continue just being only prayer warriors for Nigeria to change. It won't change. We can't continue just being critics alone. It won't change. We must take a stand. We must speak against evil. We must stand for good. We must show examples. We must contribute to the development of our locality. If we are not ready to do that, we are just wasting our times. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. This is not an interesting subject matter, but it is a relevant subject matter. Politics, Charles de Gaulle said, is too serious a matter to be left to politicians. We can't leave this country in the hands of people less intelligent than us. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. I have a webinar coming up on the 18th and 19th of this month. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62 to register for the webinar. And I have properties for sale. If you're in the UK, we are setting up meet and greet in 2 places and that will be awesome. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. God bless you.